Blessings, blessings, for this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to Word Unfiltered, where there's no filters, no chasers. To the Word of God, I don't take from it, I don't add to it. He has already perfected it enough. Watch this together. This is Female Preacher Exposes Dark Side of Church Dating. I'm excited to see what she has to say, to see if some of her views are the same as mine. Okay, I'm gonna give some commentary throughout the video because I have a lot of stories to tell. Of course, I'm not gonna tell them all in this video because this will probably be a video that will be 30-hour video with the stories and the things that I've encountered being a single woman, okay, of God. It's hard out here for us, okay, desiring marriage and wanting, a man, okay? A man of God, a true man of God in every way. So let's see what they have to say.
And so then let's say a guy dates a girl at the church, it didn't work out. Then he's like, okay, he tries to date somebody else. Now he's labeled up.
Like, I'm literally hearing the same thing. Guys are telling me, Ruslan, you don't understand. Ain't no good girls in church no more. They're all thoughts. And then women are saying the same thing. Ain't no good men in church. They're all thoughts. And I'm like,
Ruslan.
I hear the same critique from both men and women in the church about men and women in the church. And it all kind of came alive to me when me and Brenda were doing a panel just a few weeks ago with my buddy Ebenezer. And the question, you remember the question that came in, Brenda?
Mm-mm.
The question was, how am I supposed to stay single or stay pure when all these men is having all this
in the streets?
In the streets. Churchmen is having sex in the streets, right?
And the reason all this is going on is because our leaders, okay, our prophets, our pastors, our bishops, they're not teaching against this. They're not teaching against fornication. They're letting people know that it's okay. They're letting people know that, God will look over that sin, okay? And they're not teaching. They focus more on, well, it used to be where they focused so much more on the women, to prepare the women as being wives and being virtuous and holding your body and the purity. And they kind of left the young men out. And they didn't teach the young men, like, your body is valuable as well. Just because you're a male, just because you're a man, your body is still valuable. Your body still should be cherished, and it should be for your wife. You should still maintain your purity as well. But so many times in the church, it was the women, women's ministry, hold yourself, keep your legs closed, so on and so forth. You're trying to be a wife, then you gotta abstain and not be promiscuous and all of that. And now, because the church have closed the eyes to that, they don't preach that no matter who you are, okay, no matter what your gender is, keep your body for the Lord, okay, until God sends you that someone that you can come together and become as one, okay? And you can have that marriage that God has ordained.
Was the claim. And I thought it was ironic that a woman was asking this about men when the exact same narrative from the Meminism tribe is the same about women. There's books written about this that I find personally just gross. And I'll give you, I said it there, but let me just entertain me a minute.
What is the Meminism tribe? I don't know. If y'all know what that is, let me know in the comments. What is the Meminism? I've never heard that before in my life, but Ruslan, he will definitely come up with some new terms.
There's an entire phase within this red pill ideology that they talk about women and the hoe phase. And that they'll go through the hoe phase, they'll sleep with a bunch of dudes, and then they'll hit the wall, and then they'll end up in church.
And that's something new, because before, okay, it was typical that a male or a boy will give up his body faster than a woman, okay? And a lot of times in the past, guys were seen as popular, they were seen as cool, and just top tier if they had all these girls that they were able to get, okay? Or they were able to, y'all know the terms. But when a woman had all these men. Then she was a hoe. She was promiscuous. She was for the streets. Like, now that's what they say. She was for the streets. But now it's like women, and not that it was right for the men, but now it's like the women have taken on the same characteristics as men. And it's just like, I'm just going to sleep with whoever I want to sleep with. No emotions involved, no attachments. We just got all these soul ties and stuff. Well, not we, y'all. Not y'all, them, okay?
And then they'll find some beta male to have their babies with. Yeah. And it's a whole thing that they write about. Rollo wrote about it in his book, The Rational Male Religion, which I've debated Rollo. And I'm literally hearing the same thing. Guys are telling me, Ruslan, you don't understand. Ain't no good girls in church no more. They're all thoughts.
Wow.
Like, for real. Like, and watch, you'll see it in the chat. And
that's what a lot of people think. Oh, church girls, they are promiscuous. Church girls giving it up. Especially if you're a pastor's daughter or a preacher's kid, okay? They call it PK kids. I was a PK kid. And people just automatically, these guys just automatically assume that I was promiscuous, that I was out there. PK kids, they sneaky, they out there. And I wasn't. Like, I lost my V card late in the game, okay? Very late in the game.
Women are saying the same thing. Ain't no good men in church. They're all thoughts. And I'm like, but all the folks I know in my real life all got married within their 20s. I'm talking about 100 people got married in their 20s.
And now that's unheard of. Right.
Majority of them were virgins or had low body counts. And they're building amazing families, amazing lives. They're thriving. They're flourishing. So where is this disconnect coming from? Like, well, do I just have selection bias? Why do women view men this way? Why do men view women this way? Is it just LA Christians? What is this? Help me.
No, they're everywhere. They are everywhere, Ruslan. It's not just LA Christians. But I can say for me, where I'm at, my problem isn't the promiscuous men, okay? Or the men that's just out here just wide open, but on Sunday mornings they in church preaching. That is a problem, but that's not the biggest problem. There are many problems. Some of these men they like other men more than they want women, okay? Some of these men, they still have shortcomings. They can't put the bottle down. They can't stop smoking. They're abusive. And because the church has spent so much time focusing on women and teaching women how to be submissive wives, and they left these young men out and let them know, while you over here teaching women how to be wives, you're forgetting to teach the men how to be husbands, right? And that's why there is an imbalance in the church altogether.
Understand this. You're single. Unpack this for me.
I am single. I'm probably an outlier because I'm actually a virgin.
Okay.
Awesome. Look, they had started the applause. Awesome. And I know a lot of them even older than her. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, you goobers. Hey, I don't want to hear nothing else.
Nothing else.
They exist.
We exist.
There you go.
They do.
We exist.
Thanks for sharing that. You didn't have to share that.
No,
Thank you for sharing
I think that women are in the streets because they just got tired of waiting. I think they was like, you know what? I may never get married, so let me just be out here.
And I've heard some women say that, or they got tired of being played with. They got tired of being loyal, committed, and the guy that they're loyal and committed to is out here being committed to everything in a skirt. So they got tired and they like, well, if you gonna do it, I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna get it how I get it. So a lot of times those type of women, they don't even sleep with a person for the physical fulfillment of it. It's always another motive. It's money. It's to get bills paid. It's to get cars and this and that. It's to see what they can get monetarily out of this man. It's not because they really getting physical pleasure, most of them, okay? For real. But it's because a lot of times if you talk to, it's that like that song, Good Girl Gone Bad, by Rihanna, when I used to listen to her music. And that's what it is, okay? A lot of these good girls have gone bad because they've been hurt so many times. Now, I'm not saying for all of them, but most of the times they do have an extensive story of abuse that could either have been from a relationship that they was really all into, or it could stem from their childhood, from their father not being around. I could have been that type because I grew up without my dad. But because my mom was so open with me and the things that she went through, and she communicated these things with me and let me know you can learn from my mistakes. And she let me know actually what those mistakes was. Even though she was in the church, she didn't portray like things was all good. She didn't portray like she was perfect. But she told her testimony, not just to the church, but to me at home. And she talked to me and let me know what to look for, what to look out for. And also let me know your body is valuable. And not just me. She even taught that to, my brothers. So a lot of times it stems from seeking love and seeking affection, and a lot of times that affection is what you didn't get from your father. So many women, they try to seek that from an outside source, from all these men. But it's not until I came, if I didn't have Jesus, I probably would have been that type if I didn't have Jesus. Okay.
I think they've gotten too many, because guys can't act like they don't really be out here dating 5 of the girls at the church, especially the musician.
Ooh, she went there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think
the decent looking musicians.
for sure.
They don't even got.
Especially the musicians. Oh my goodness. I think I've dated 2 musicians, and one of them I found out he was dating also a friend of mine at the same time. And we didn't realize it until we both telling each other about this guy we had met, and this guy we like, and this guy we're talking to, and all of this stuff, and end up being the same guy. Because some of the stuff she was mentioning, I was like, dang, he sounds familiar, because we talking about going on double dates and all this stuff. But some of the characteristics that she's mentioning is similar to the guy I was dating. And she was noticing the same, that some of the characteristics I was mentioning was similar to the guy that she was dating. So we started asking, like, hold on, like, what is the name of your guy? And the crazy thing is, the name that he told me was his actual name. The name he gave her was his nickname. But we found out real quick that it was the same person. And he was a musician. He could sing, all of that. Like, it's crazy.
Gotta be good looking. They just decent
It's
looking.
something about a musician that be having us
Yeah.
out here just
Right.
losing it.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
I think everybody just,
Have you ever been like, so sorry, y'all? Have you ever been so like into somebody, just into them, like, oh my God, I'm just so in love. I want to call him all the time. I want to text him all the time. I want to see him all the time. I just love everything about him, his walk, his talk. But then after God delivers you from that idol, you look at them and like, what did I see in you? Like, what was I thinking? And I'm not calling nobody ugly, okay? Because God said everything he made was good. So we're all ugly to somebody. But you ever just look at it don't even have to be just their looks. You'll start to really see their spirit, and you just like, what did I see in you? Like, I was really like just intoxicated by you, and it's crazy. But then you see them after you've been delivered, and God has burned that idol out of your life, and you just like, ugh, you really see that spirit in them.
also the pandemic made all the standards go out the window. I think we all thought we was gonna die.
That is
and
the
so
truth.
We just said have at it. I also think that the statistics aren't really real. And then you said most of them met. You said of your friends or people you know,
Yeah.
most of them met in their 20s.
Yeah.
Well, we're now in our 30s. We didn't have that
That's right.
luxury.
Yep.
So then it's kind of like, well, what's really happening? You know
That's
what I'm
fair.
saying?
That's
I
fair.
do think that I know a lot of people. I have a lot of friends who met their mate, husband, wife at church. I just think it kind of goes back to our earlier conversation that majority of the church is full of women. So the ratio to women.
That's what I said. There is an imbalance. majority of the church is full of women. And if you have all these women, okay, and you have 2 or 3 single guys, where it's totally an imbalance, and all these women looking like, that may be my husband. So these 3 men, okay, 3 single men, each of them have like 5 or 6 women looking, okay, saying that that's my husband, okay? Like, it's an imbalance, okay? And like she was saying, as far as with the pandemic, I have noticed that too. Like, men don't approach anymore. They don't come up to you. They'll stare you down, okay? Will stare you down weirdly, okay? But will not approach you. I had a guy, quick story time. I had a guy, actually it was a couple of guys who were doing repairs at my job, and because I'm the one who locks up my building and everything, a lot of times I was there with them before, when they was ending the night, to come back in the morning. So I could tell, like, they were just real chatty and stuff with me, and always asking me questions. It was I could tell, okay, I could tell. But so they had, one of the guys, they were leaving out of the building, and so one of the guys, he came back in the building. He was like, yo, I got you. I heard him say that to his coworker. It's like, man, I got you. And he came and asked me, are you single? And I told him, I said, yeah. And then he was like, he shouted out to his coworker, like, man, yeah, she's single. And that right there was already points deducted, because I'm too grown. We are too grown for you to have your friend to ask me for you if I'm single. So then he asked me, well, are you dating? I said, yeah, but I date men of God. And he was like, well, we all should be of God. No, followers of Jesus Christ, and also men that approach women on their own, not send their friend to speak up for them. Like, no, I need a man, okay? I need a protector. I need a covering. I need someone that is safe for me to submit to, safe for me to follow as he follows Christ. Like, I need someone that's not only safe for me, but safe even for my son, to cover us, to protect us. Okay? That's what I need. A man, okay? Alpha, okay? Alpha, a safe place for me to submit to.
Women to men is slim.
Mm-hmm.
And so then let's say
Yes.
a guy dates a girl at the church, it didn't work out. Then he's like, okay, he tries to date somebody else. Now he's labeled a hoe. When really he's just dating.
He's just dating, yeah.
He's just dating.
Yeah.
And so I think some things are not really true. I think we just label people as things because of their experience. But I don't know. I go to church a lot. I go to a lot of different churches, and
That's not your experience. There's
It
not
ain't
a whole
my-
bunch of women out here. The women that, from your experience, it sounds like what you're saying, the women that do start getting wild
yeah,
are because of losing hope
I think so.
that there's godly
for sure.
men for them.
For sure.
That's so sad.
for sure.
That is so sad.
Some of them losing hope. Some of them, they're dealing with childhood issues. It's just a lot of things that play a part with it. But I know so many great single women. Like, I think they're great, okay? And I don't connect to a lot of people. And it ain't women that I'm necessarily friends with. We are brothers. I mean, we are sisters in Christ. But I'm not necessarily, I don't fellowship with a lot of people. I'm really to myself for the most part. But I know them, you know what I'm saying? And they're great women, true women of God. And they're single. But like she's saying, the ratio of real men of God versus the women of God in the church there is a imbalance, and then you have a lot of men that want other men. Okay, it's just all those things.
Because it's like it's again, it's like meninism. Like, it's literally like
It's
what I'm
the
hearing
opposite.
from these guys.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And
It's
it was like the girl's question. She's like, how can I stay? But her question proves my point.
Yeah.
Because she's reached a point where she like, I'm actually tired of waiting. And if everybody's out here having sex, How can I even compete as a woman who's making that, and not compete is the wrong word, but how do I get in the game if everybody else has one up on me because they are having sex? And I'm making.
I understand exactly what she's saying, because you meet somebody, they're great, okay? And this could be for men or women. You meet somebody, they're great. They have all of the characteristics that you're looking for. They present themselves as true followers of Christ, but then you tell them, but I am practicing abstinence. I am celibate. I'm not giving my body to anyone but my husband. If I'm not worth you giving me your last name, then you're not worth me giving you my body, okay? No. And I have truly been turned down. I have been ghosted. I have been a lot of those things. And I've turned other people down, not ghosted them, because I usually try to, close the chapter respectfully. But I've turned other people down because of that reason, because they will agree to wait into marriage, but then they will still try to persuade me to fall, okay, into fornication. They will still try to persuade me because it's like a challenge to them. And I've been dealing with that for a long time. Like I said again, I lost my V card in the old age, okay, late in the game. And some guys, because I was a virgin, it caused them to fear and it caused them to run. And then other guys took it as a challenge, like, oh, I'm going to be your first. It became a challenge. Like, it wasn't really, they respected it, okay? And because I respect you. I really want to get to know you. Like, because they valued it as much as I did. It wasn't like that. It was, oh, I'm going to be the first, okay? I'm gonna claim her virginity. And it was like, no.
A stance to not. And so then it's like, so then we make a choice. Not saying it's the right choice.
Yeah. So what do you think about, again, the folks that I know all got married. You're right.
Okay, Tyler.
They all got married in their 20s. There's godly men out there. I'm right here. Let's go,
right
Tyler.
Let's go, Tyler.
Let's go, Tyler. If there's folks out here and they're losing hope, right? And so, yes, the demographic I'm talking about is folks that did get married in their 20s, right? And so, because maybe they, like Zach, you met Zach earlier, him and his wife met in high school. You know what I mean? John Keith, I don't know if you know John Keith, he's a Christian rapper. Him and his wife met right after high school. They got married. Like, a lot of folks, and they either meet in church or...
That's how my brother was. One of my brothers, him and his wife has been married over 20 years now, but they met at age 12. We was all in the same church, and I actually was the one that got them together. And they're still together to this day, married over 20-something years. And yeah, both of them followers of Christ, love each other. And not saying it's all been peaches and cream, but never once did they give up on the marriage. They value marriage. And nowadays that's hard to find. It's so many men, and I'm talking about church men, who they don't want to be married, okay? They don't value it. It's just a piece of paper, or they feel like it caused them to be in bondage or something when it comes to marriage. Like, but it's God ordained. It's marriage here on earth should resemble the church being married to Jesus Christ. It's the way He ordained it from the beginning of creation.
Or in high school, right? And then they get married. And so, to your point, if someone's going through their entire life attempting to do the right thing, to stay pure, stay faithful, and then they hit their 30s and they're like, yo, you're saying that the women that then go be promiscuous, it's not because that they were hoeing in their 20s, it's that they were attempting to be pure in their 20s, get to their 30s, and were like, look at this rate. Like, I'm all these guys just, this is a prerequisite for them. Yeah. I'm just going to compromise.
I would say that's some women. I can't.
Not all women, but when the ones you see,
I would say I think that's a huge thing, because then you get to a point where you like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then there are some women who are out here and they are living their best lives to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it their best lives though? Like they out here being like the men, how the men used to be. Okay, now I think nowadays, uh, it's more respectful to find a man who is keeping his body. But back in the day, okay, it's if a man had a whole bunch of girls and a whole bunch of, bodies to his name, okay, he was like esteemed. But if a woman, she was called a hoe, she was called this, she was called that, okay, she was looked down upon. But now, because standards have just dropped for everyone, now the women is carrying it the same way, and that's why a lot of people don't respect marriage. Like you tell someone, no, I'm waiting till I get married. It's like, oh, what? What? You gotta test drive the car and like what? No, I'm not a car. I'm a human being. I'm a person, a woman created in the image of God. I'm not a car, okay? You gotta test drive. No. Like what? You know how many people I would have slept with if I let them test drive? Like, no. Not at all.
To them.
To them.
We're not going to co-sign.
It's not their best life.
Yes. It's sad because
They say the same thing.
truly believe that when you live God's ways, it's in your best interest.
For sure, 100%.
When you live this out God's ways, it's in your best interest. And that could be difficult when you're like, yo, but I've been doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
And nothing's going on.
Yeah, but I think and I think I said this on the panel, is just like, hey, I know too much of who I am to settle. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
like I also look at it like,
Me
man,
too,
I made
girl.
it this far. Like it is not worth just tossing it out, the cheap way. Like we just I have to, just as much as I'm gonna believe God for healing, I'm gonna believe that He'll send the right man at the right time.
Amen.
And I think too, though,
Amen.
we also as a church have to take responsibility for like idolizing marriage and making that the ultimate goal of like, well, I serve God, I serve in church, I love Him, I follow Him. Marriage is next on the plate, and then when it doesn't come, then we.
This is so true. People do idolize marriage. I used to be one of them. I just wanted to get married. I want to get married. But I didn't like being by myself because when I was in one of my longest, most deep relationship and then God ended up severing those ties, it was hard because I wasn't used to being alone. I was used to having someone here, having somebody to talk to, all of that, you know what I'm saying? And I went through a season of just idolize. I want to get married. Now, do I still have a desire to get married? Yes, but now it's like, God, well, even if I don't, I'm okay. Even if I never am with anyone, I'm okay with it just being me and you as far as relationship is concerned. Now I see the benefits, not saying that marriage don't have amazing benefits, okay, but I also see the benefits of me being single in this time, in this season, okay, of my life. So, but yeah, the idolizing of marriage has definitely been at an all-time high for many people.
End up with disappointment. And so I do think marriage is something that we should, if we feel like that's something we want to do, for sure, but it doesn't make me less of a person because I'm not married. And I think sometimes
we serve a single savior.
We do.
Yeah.
For sure. Jesus died without, you know, being married.
Yeah. No, that's an amazing point. I do think that most people want to get married.
For sure.
Most people want to have kids. It's optimal to have kids within a marriage. And so I think that you're right.
Yes. Okay. Because being a single parent, it's not easy. Does it have its rewards? Yes. Love my son to life. Okay. Always tell him love him to infinity and beyond. But it is not easy. And without a relationship with Jesus Christ, I would have thrown in the towel. I'm telling you, I would have thrown in the towel with some of the things that I have been through being a single mother. Not just being a single mother, but being a single mother to a young man. That's a whole different a whole different mountain, okay, that I climb, because I am trying my hardest with the direction of God. The steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. So I'm trying to make sure God orders my footsteps to show me how to do this and how to be the best that I can be at it, and how to make sure I bring him up to be a man of God the best way I know how, just allowing God to lead and guide me with that, because I'm a woman, okay? Born and raised woman. So I don't know what, as a man, what type of hardships he may encounter or things like that. So I really totally truly lean and depend on God to show me what to tell him, to show me what advice to give him. And I thank God for, his uncles and the other men of God that is around him that have been pouring into him, because it definitely, those seeds that they have planted definitely helps.
But I also think that there's a degree of like, this is literally how our species continues.
No, and I agree with that. But I think we also have to find balance, because I do think I think it's creating
that
my
is the word
worth
for today.
Around it.
Balance.
And I am not less of a person
Absolutely.
because I am single.
Absolutely.
And if we even think about like sermons, sometimes they are always shaped around husband and wife.
Yep.
And majority of the church is single sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
a good point.
and so it's kind of like we have to figure out a way to your point, we serve a single savior. How do we teach that there's also value in singleness? Because then we don't have a lot of people out here.
That's what I just said. It's so many benefits that I did not notice, because I was so focused on, I want to be married, I want to be married, I want to be married. And I was missing the benefits of not being married, of being single in this time. And I'm talking about natural benefits and spiritual benefits. It's important to focus on that. Don't focus on what's not there. Focus on what is there. And if God ordains it, then it will happen, okay? What God joins together, let no man put asunder. What God joins together. Many people are not joined together by God. They're joined together by their flesh, okay? They're joined together because they couldn't abstain from fornication, so they just jumped and got married. And that's also why divorce rate is so high in the church, because people not getting married for the right reasons. We got to have more than just, oh, you go to this church and I go to this church, you love God and I love God, so come on, let's go ahead and get married because our flesh is burning. We can't control our flesh. No, it has to be more to it than that. Like, you actually have to like the person as a person, not just as a man or woman of God, but actually as a person. And if you're burning with lust, seek God, surrender to God, okay, to get more control over your flesh. The more you kill the flesh and the more you feed your spirit, hold on, let me say it this way. The more you feed your spirit, the more your flesh will die, okay? The more you feed your spirit, the more you won't have to deal with the lust and all of that. The more you feed your spirit, the less you won't even think about being with somebody. Because at the end of the day, it's not only where you don't want to disappoint yourself, you don't want to disappoint your Father, your Creator, okay? No matter how bad your body or your flesh may say, oh, I want this. No, because I don't want to disappoint my Creator. So that has really, for real, that has really helped me abstain, is really getting closer to God. I think I did a video about that. How has it been? What has made it easier for me to abstain from fornication? It's really me getting close to God. Where if God does send my husband, he's gonna have to be so deep in God in order to even find me, because it's me and Jesus right now. All right, so that is it. Hopefully you all enjoy this video. I enjoyed that podcast. It really resonated with me. Hopefully it resonated with some other singles, whether you are a single man or single woman, just focus on your relationship with God. And if it's his desire for you to be married, okay, or for his desire for you not to be married, you're going to be good no matter what. You're going to be okay no matter what. But just focus on God. He'll send you that destiny helper in his time. God bless you.